Phil, do you know which aisle the popcorn's in?
Yeah, it's in aisle 6.
Okay, thanks.
Excuse me? Why did he get helped first? I need help finding the fish sticks. Ma'am, that's my dad, and that's no excuse. I'll get you fired. But I don't work here. I don't work here. I live here. I lived in a room for rent when this happened a few years ago. I had made some cheesecake earlier that day, and it was about 9 p.m. when my housemates, all of which were up for some odd reason, were annoying me for cheesecake. So I got my butt out of bed, annoyed as I had to go somewhere early in the morning. I was cutting up the cheesecake and dishing them out when my roommate came screaming through the house. Not sure how to describe it, but she was clearly off. Maybe it was the fact she accused me of trying to murder her while I was cutting up cheesecake, or how she threw a clock at my head. Not the first time she went off. The oldest of my housemates ushered us all outside so my roommate could go 50 shades of crazy inside. She dialed 911, she told them what was going on, and shortly 2 cops showed up in a cop car. They asked us whom was going nuts, and we pointed inside. Which led to a rather strange moment when my roommate running outside yelling, "You'll never take me alive!" before diving into a mud puddle as if it was a pool. The cops promptly picked her up and dragged her back inside. Did she think that was a pool? I asked, confused.
Most likely. I love this cheesecake,
said my housemate. I looked back at her. You still have it? I asked.
You are holding the spoon still,
she said, pointing. I noticed the spoon, having forgotten I was holding it, and started to eat the cheesecake off of it. After a bit, the cops came back out, and one turned to me and said,
"Are you her nurse?"
What? I asked.
"Are you her nurse? She needs her meds," said the one cop.
I stared at him. "No, I live here," I replied.
"Are you sure?"
said the cop. "Pretty sure. Why do you think I'm her nurse?" I asked.
"You are dressed like one."
I looked at myself. I am wearing PJs, my hair is a mess, I have no shoes, and I am licking a spoon. I am clearly not a nurse. Please try the landlord.
"Thought you were. You look professional,"
said the cop before going to the landlord's office. I hushed my housemates to keep them from laughing, as I could see they wanted to. After a bit, paramedics came and took my roommate away to get meds. The cops then left. My landlord came out and stared at me. They asked why the nurse was saying she wasn't a nurse. "Okay, who's the nurse this time?" she asked. My housemates pointed at me. Yes, we all got a laugh out of it, and everyone turned out fine later. When they thought that you were the nurse, you should have said, "Okay, but before I give her the meds, I just wanted to ask you about my cheesecake. You're a baker, right? I mean, you're dressed like one. Why wouldn't you be a baker? With your baking badge, and your tasting taser, and your mixing gun."
"Just ring up my screws. I promise I don't work here, really."
I ran to the local improvement store last night for some screws and ended up browsing for a bit. Somewhere between looking at Dremel bits and contemplating a new soldering iron, I hear a man roar rather loudly.
"What do you mean you don't have any? This is like basic stuff. You gotta!"
I couldn't hear the employee's response, but it was rather short, and he walked briskly away to resume stocking circular saw blades. My next thing to check out was drill bits, situated right behind Mr. Roar. "Excuse me, sir, but..." Roar still shouting.
"Thank God, finally! Ralph, you said he was a really fat guy that looked like Santa Claus. This is a skinny guy in a baseball hat."
Me, smiling. "I don't work here."
"Well, fuck."
He starts laughing and then gets a lot quieter.
"Sorry, man. I'm just giving my cousin a hard time. Am I in your way?"
"Yeah, I just wanted to peek at the rack behind you."
"I can't believe they don't have any easy outs. I'm trying to get a broken bolt out of a lawnmower and..."
"They're on the bottom, right there."
"What?"
I scoot Mr. Roar away from the rack and grab a set of screw extractors for him.
"Man, I know Ralph doesn't normally work this department, but he told me they didn't have any. Doesn't matter though, these are too small."
"There are bigger ones over by the sockets."
"Huh? Why aren't they all in one place?"
"These are for home improvements. The ones over there are counted as mechanics tools. Come on, I'll show you." I lead Mr. Roar over to the sockets, point to what he needs, and begin to walk away to check out. Roar loudly.
"Ralph! Ralph! He found them!
I continued my beeline for the cashier. It failed. Just as she was starting her spiel on how to use the credit card terminal, Ms. Aurora clapped me on the shoulder as he passed to leave empty-handed.
Thanks again. It's good to know that at least management knows what they're doing.
The credit card terminal went blank. Sorry, sir. I didn't recognize you.
I don't work here.
You don't have to work at this location. The discount is for all company employees.
I don't work for your company.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Because company policy says, just ring up my screws. I promise I don't work here. Really?
I would have just taken the discount.
I mean, if they're offering it. Am I missing something? I wonder if you can get in trouble for that. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be your fault because, like, they should really ask you for some kind of identification if you work there and they're going to give you a discount. I know most places like Walmart that you work, they give you a little card that you have to swipe for your discount. But I can't imagine if they didn't do that and they just, like, went off, like, knowing you. I can't imagine that you could get in much trouble. I mean, I've watched people kick boxes and put dents in them and then ask for discounts, and the management there just gives it to them, so I can't imagine it being that much of an issue for them. I mean, maybe it's a smaller store, I don't know. Lady thinks I work at a gas station. Freaks out on the owner for telling the truth. Let me start by saying this was a few years ago, so the details are a bit fuzzy. I am also on mobile, so with that, on to the story. So this story starts with my dad pulling into a gas station while we were on a road trip. I had to go to the bathroom, so I ran inside while my dad put a bit of air in the tires and got gas. As soon as I step out of the bathroom, Karen looks at me and says, "Finally, someone who works here. Done with your extended break yet?" I look at her and said the famous line, "I don't work here." Karen cut me off and said, "I know you work here. I saw you talking with that man outside." I'm pretty short and obviously young, so I had no idea how she even mistook me for an employee, so I repeat again, "I don't work here." To which she slams the door, glass, of the gas station, which promptly shattered. My dad heard me and immediately ran to the store. "What is happening here?" "This employee refuses to help me and claims he doesn't work here. I want him fired." At this point, a real employee comes out of the bathroom and sees what's happening. When the employee realizes the door is broken, she calls the owner, who arrives in the middle of my dad and I telling Karen that I don't work there and am 13. The owner shows up and tells her the exact same things we said, to which Karen decides to yell, "Why are you defending this employee? He was lazy and should be fired." Followed by her throwing a bunch of stuff from an aisle on the ground and storming out. We ended up getting free snacks and saw Karen's car on the side of the highway being pulled over by the cops. We made sure to slow down and give her a nice wave when we drove by. "Thanks for the free snacks, lady." Leave us alone, left the comment, "You're lucky the owner didn't fire you." Phew. I almost had an "I don't work here lady" situation the other day when I was in Walmart. I was looking at insecticides to kill these goddamn stink bugs when all of a sudden this lady comes up and starts asking me where things are. At first, I was trying to help, and then I realized that she thought I was an employee, so I told her that she should go find an employee and he could help her find the items. To which she just stood there and stared at me for the entire time that I was reading all the insecticides. After I walked away, she followed me for a bit until I finally left. I don't know if she didn't hear me and she thought that I told her to just wait and I would help her, but, you know, I'm not going out of my way. I'm not getting paid to do that. I'm just glad she wasn't a Karen and I didn't have to deal with that. White ladies mistake my Asian dad as a worker. Get seated anyways. Controversial. Short story. So my family is Asian. We are Korean. One night we decided to go to a Japanese restaurant. We get there and get seated. My dad ends up forgetting his reading glasses, so he gets up and heads to the door. As he gets there, two white soccer moms / Karens come in. They say, "Hi, it's not busy, is it?" Now my dad knows what's up, so he grabs menus from the tiny counter and walks them outside and seats them and tells them, "Your server will be with you in just a moment." My dad just leaves them after that and goes to his car to get his glasses. He comes back inside and sits down with us. After about 10 to 15 minutes, they come back inside all mad. They notice us and my dad sitting at a table enjoying our meals. They get furious and we all start bursting out laughing, which I think got them so embarrassed that they stormed out of the restaurant. 10 out of 10, my best night ever. Next time though, I would just pretend to take their order and stuff. Thanks for reading. Edit to clear some stuff up. The lady said hi and tried to make conversation by basically saying, rewording it, "It's not busy, huh?" in that kind of tone. She wasn't asking a question, it was a greeting. Why don't you guys understand? You guys keep thinking that they were simply asking a question. They weren't. Do you or your family greet your servers? 2. It may seem like a simple mistake, but automatically assuming my Asian dad, who's not even in a uniform, is a worker is very ignorant. 3. But I understand that my dad might have taken it too far. Maybe instead he could have just said something instead of taking them outside. 4. You guys don't have to get mad over the story. It's something to laugh about, not get mad. You guys are calling us assholes? Then why do you guys point these stupid things out? Just enjoy the story and move on. You guys are being the assholes, writing essays on how we were in the wrong. I get it. Just don't all attack me because you guys are offended. I had to include this one because this is one of the few posts on here that I actually agree with the opposite side. I mean, it is really ignorant to just assume that an Asian person that's not in uniform is working at this restaurant. But I can see how people coming in and not really paying attention to the people and just seeing that they're Asian and they're in this Asian restaurant and just making the assumption. I'm not saying it's right, but I can see how it would happen. Now, a lot of people are attacking these people for posting this, saying that, you know, you guys are assholes, the dads are assholes, which I actually kind of agree with. But, like, I mean, I don't suggest attacking anyone over the story. It's they meant it to be fun, but obviously, you know, there's no big joke to it. Their dad didn't say, oh, no, I don't work here or anything like that. He took kind of a petty route to, you know, because they made ignorant assumptions that he was a waiter in this Japanese restaurant, even though he's Korean. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I had to include this one because I usually don't include controversial ones. And I just want to see some other people's opinions on this. Thank you so much for making it this far in the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell for service. I promise that I do work here. Follow me on my second channel, r/, as since I subscribed to his channel, he obviously owed me it. I'm expecting to get the channel in the mail in the next 3 to 4 business days. Bye-bye.